Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of our module 5. This is the last part of module 5. Actually, this explains some of the basic concept of vector control strategy. So vector control is a new thing to you, and you need to study only the what is the basic principle behind it and some of the basic block schematics of uh, drives using vector control. So before come to the vector control, you already know that in a separately excited DC motor, you know that both the field flux and electromagnetic torque can be controlled independently by varying the field current and armature current. That is, field flux, you can control field flux and electromagnetic torque by varying independently. You can vary the field current and armature current. By varying the field current, field flux can be varied. By varying the armature current, electromagnetic torque can be varied. That is the case of a separately excited DC motor. But in case of an AC motor, example an induction motor, there is only one current, that is a stator current, which produces both flux and torque in that machine. So what happened? You don't have any independent control over the field flux and electromagnetic torque like in the separately excited DC motor. So in AC motor, by using normal control technique, independent control of torque and flux is not possible because we have only one current. So what is the requirement if you want to achieve independent control of torque and flux in an AC motor drives? You need a vector control, or it is also known as field oriented control. So vector, the concept, you know the vector, you know the concept of vector. In a vector control, actually an induction motor is controlled under all operating conditions to get performance similar to a separately excited DC motor. That is, the stator current of an induction motor can be resolved into two components like in your separately excited DC motor. That is, one component of that current is flux producing component and next component is the torque producing component. And flux producing component, you can say it as a magnetizing current like that, IM, and working component as a torque producing component. So this facility is already available in the separately excited DC motor but not in the AC motor, because where stator current itself is the reason for or the flux and torque. So we need to split that part of current that is producing the flux and part of stator current that producing the torque. So that component can be derived using that vector theory. That is why it is known as vector control. So then if you are able to control IM and IW independently, then flux and torque can be controlled independently. Okay. If you are able to control IM and IW independently, then flux and torque can be controlled independently. So what is the requirement in a vector control? So we are controlling these two components independently. So what happened? A stator current is a three-phase quantity, that is IA, IB, IC. There are three stator current, IA, IB and IC. But we need to convert that three stator current into two. That is, three-phase to two-phase transformation is required. So there is a requirement of transformation. That is, three-phase to two-phase quantity. We need to transfer three-phase quantity IA, IB, IC into a two-phase quantity. So to control torque and flux independently, we transform three-phase stator current into two-phase current by using some transformation, that is ABC to DQ transformation. This actually involves two two different transformation, Clark and Park transformation. That is, first we converting ABC to a alpha beta reference frame, then into DQ. That is ABC to alpha beta, then alpha beta to DQ. That ABC to alpha beta transformation is known as Clark transformation, and alpha beta then to DQ is known as Park transformation. So now suppose that transformation can be done by using some mathematics, then finally we get IA, IB, IC is transformed to ID and IQ. IA, IB, IC is transformed to ID and IQ. ID is the direct axis component, which is actually produces the net flux in the motor. So when you are converting three-phase stator current into two-phase DQ components, then from that current, ID is the first component is the flux producing component, which produces the net flux in the motor, and second component, quadrature component, that is the torque producing component, which produces the torque in the motor. So flux producing component, you can have it ID as ID and torque producing component as IQ. Then you can directly control this ID and IQ. You can control ID for controlling the flux. You can control IQ for controlling the torque. That is the basic theory behind vector control. Instead of finding out three-phase stator current to a two-phase current, where one component is the flux producing component and another one is the torque producing component. Now we can achieve the independent control of flux and torque. So this type of control, there are two types of vector control. Direct vector control. Here the actual speed of the motor is sensed by using a tachymeter. Indirect vector control, here the actual speed is calculated from the machine terminal voltage and number of no tachymeters are used. Direct and indirect. But you can directly go to the control schematics, but direct vector control and indirect vector control, you can have a block diagrams, and in that block diagrams definitely there will be a transformation sensing the ABC component, then you should convert into DQ and you should control ID and IQ, then you need to retransform into ABC again. So all those things will be in the block diagram. Similar way, indirect vector control, there will be another block diagram. Before that, we should understand how do you transform this ABC to DQ. That is a very important thing. How do you transform ABC to DQ? So in that there is two separate transformation occurs, that is Clark transformation and Park transformation. So let's see how it works. First of all, ABC to alpha beta transformation. That is, ABC is the three-phase ABC quantity. You know that it is a rotating frame. ABC is rotating in a three-phase system, like it is varying. You can see that in this figure. You can see here three-phase ABC quantity is rotating in that 360 degree. It is rotating, and this is the voltage and this is the axis ABC. It is displaced by 120 degree each, and we need to convert this three-phase rotating frame VA, VB, VC or IA, IB, IC into two-phase quantity, but in a stationary reference frame. That is, alpha beta is now the reference frame is stationary. Alpha beta reference frame is stationary, and you will get a two component. This three-phase quantity is converted into two-phase quantity using some transformation, and the basic idea behind it is that, you know, if these three-phase ABC system is completely balanced, then you can write only 2 current is enough to represent a 3-phase quantity, because you know that IA plus IB plus IC equal to 0 for a balanced system. For a balanced system, IA plus IB plus IC equal to 0. So, you can if you know IA and IB, and IC can be written in terms of IA and IB. Okay, if IA, IB, IC are in balanced system, then IA plus IB plus IC is equal to 0. Then third quantity can be written in terms of first 2 quantities. So no need of 3 quantities for calculations. So that is mathematical complexity of this can be reduced if you are transforming this 3-phase into 2-phase quantity. That is alpha beta. Then it is again converted into a constant output, like ID and IQ are constant, but now the reference frame DQ is rotating. Now it is transforming into rotating reference frame, that is DQ, rotating reference frame. Now it is transformed into rotating reference. So you can see that this is transforming. Earlier it is 3-phase ABC quantity. It is transformed into alpha beta plane, where alpha beta plane is a stationary. Now we are transforming it into a rotating reference frame, where the components are stationary. So now you will get a correct exactly ID and IQ. ID you can see in the blue line, and red line is IQ. This current is actually a DC quantity, and that can be controlled, and after the control action it is again returned back to alpha beta, then ABC. So the transformation is like this: ABC to alpha beta, like ABC to alpha beta, then alpha beta to DQ. The total transformation like ABC to alpha beta to DQ. So now it is ABC to DQ transformation. You will get a D and Q current. D current is actually ID and IQ, and ID component is flux producing component, and IQ component is the torque producing component. Okay, this is the entire structure. You can see that here it is a 3-phase quantity. This is actually Clark transformation. This is Spark transformation. So after Clark transformation, you will get a again 3-phase quantity to 2-phase quantity. Here again it is converted into rotating frame, where the difference is that here this angle theta is varying continuously. Here the angle theta is constant, because the frame is actually rotating. So we will get a DC output here. So only just understand, in order to get a separate or independent control over the torque and flux, we are transforming ABC quantity into DQ through alpha beta. That is ABC to alpha beta and alpha beta to DQ. And you will get a 2 current, ID and IQ. ID is the flux producing component and IQ is the torque producing component. Then you can directly control, and after control action you need to retransform it, okay, into ABC. Like then ABC to alpha beta transformation is known as the Clark transformation, and alpha beta to DQ transformations are known as the Park transformation. And I will discuss the mathematics of the transformation, that is how mathematically you convert 3-phase ABC to 2-phase alpha beta, then how 2-phase alpha beta to again rotating frame DQ. There is a mathematics, there is a transformation matrix. By using that we are transforming ABC quantity to alpha beta, then alpha beta to DQ. That also I will discuss in the next session.